Alrighty, and here we go. Finally back for another art stream. It's been a million years, or more like 2 weeks, I guess. Oh boy. Okay. Another layer on there, and we can scoot on down to whatever's happening here. Anyways, if you're joining me for art stream times, I hope that your weekend is going well so far, and that things are going well for you overall. Things are going well for me overall. I had a very nice weekend last weekend with my friend visiting. We did a whole bunch of stuff together, and it was a very good time. Something I need to do more often. But I am... Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. My voice sounds bleh today. Bleh. Anyways, hope you're doing well. And that your weekend is going smoothly. Yeah, we had a fun time. We went to various events like VanCaf, a little concert, and all kinds of other fun stuff. Oh yeah, the Suspension Bridge Park, we also did that. Now, I'm going to try and do some shading on this. I wanted to get to the third part of this comic, where we actually get to Azrael and Papyrus. Unfortunately, not quite done with the roughs for that yet. Still got to do the roughs for that. So, I was like, okay, we'll just work on the shading for this part for now. And that'll be okay. It's still progress. Slow but sure. I haven't really had time to work on this very much this week, just because I've been very busy with work and other things. Oh. There's a problem there, and the problem is this is not... Oh, yeah. Clipping mask. There we go. So we're back again with Rudy and Asgore. Having their little chat. Oh, goodness. I need to figure out what kind of comic I want to do, or Eldritchrune comic to do. What seemed to do after this one, because I don't know if I have any solid ideas on which one I want to tackle after this. Like, I have some vague ideas, not any solid ones yet. So I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. Along with a bunch of other things I want to work on. It never stops. Also, I actually remember to go and hide the crickets in the other room, so they're probably not as loud as they usually are. I'm like, oh wait, they always are loud. I'll go put those on the other end of the apartment, and they'll chirp their little hearts away, as they always do. Stuff in the morning because I wanted to go out and do a little Pokemon Go event today, but in the afternoon. But it's gonna be raining, so that part stinks. And that is what umbrellas are for. But still, bleh, rain, bleh. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. I appreciate you being here. Trying to shade around the flowers is always a pain in the butt. It's kind of like, okay, here we go. Woo. But yeah, at least then this part is very close to being done. We have almost all of the background stuff shaded, except for a few things that we'll get to. And then just the character shading, which won't take too long. Comparatively speaking, anyway. It's not like it's a scene with, like, you know, Susie or Noelle with their long, scraggly hair. I'm like, okay, I have to shade around that hair now. Why did I do this to myself? Also, when my friend visited... Oh, is there a, making sure, is there text over here? No, there's not. Okay, we have to fix that. This should be filled in. There we go. watch both. I feel like that's good. I don't know if I could have an attention span like that. If two people are talking at the same time, I'm just like, huh? What? Huh? Imagine you have to tune out at least one of them. You're like, I'm tuning out you. You're the boring one. Well, that's all I can do. I guess that is always the trouble with streaming stuff. It's like, oh, stuff's now on at the same time. And I have no control over the schedule. No, don't drive yourself crazy. Don't do that. I can already just imagine how, like, you know, young people are going to be in the future with the, like, I don't know, watching 5 things at once. Subway Surfers is on, and so is Family Guy compilations, and so is your favorite streamer, and so is, I don't know, ASMR or whatever. Like, I don't know what that's going to do to people's brains. I know I already kind of have high levels of stimulation compared to probably my parents. I'm like, okay, I can't work unless I have something to listen to, whether it's like, you know, music or video essays or an audio book or something. And it's usually how that goes, but seems like nowadays younger generations are like, no, I have to have like 5 things going at once. That's just kind of what's expected for you to be able to handle. I don't know. Hello, thank you for coming. Things are going okay. With me, at least. Not so much with Asgore, but that's Asgore for you. Thank you for subscribing. I super appreciate it. Oh, that's so nice. Ah, sheesh, thank you. I super appreciate it. I'm doing my best. I know it's not always the bestest best, but I'm trying. So thank you. And thank you for being subscribed for 6 months of me mostly drawing Deltarune stuff. And playing silly games. Since I mentioned that other anniversary project I want to do yesterday, I'll probably stream a little bit of work on that. Probably not like the roughs or anything like that, but maybe some cleanup stuff. Because, again, that's easier for me to stream. Whenever I get to doing that. I really do gotta like probably once I finish these particular comics, this 3-parter, I need to do a little setup for how I want to do like the ending eventually, and maybe like ask on Twitter or Tumblr or whatever, like, hey, how should I pursue this kind of thing? What kind of stuff do you want to see? In what order? Yeah, the ending is going to take a very long time to draw. That's just the nature of it. But I would like to actually do the actual ending, just because that'd be nice to have. Especially after Paper Trail. Like, okay, I gotta do an ending this time. Well, I did do an ending, Paper Trail, but in traditionally acceptable ending, I should say. It's hard to know how some stuff will shake out since we still don't have chapters 3 and 4 yet, let alone 5, 6, and 7. But I wanted to finish it before the game itself finished anyway, so I don't want to wait for last chapters to finish this. But since I want to do a big project after the whole game itself is out. Whenever that may be. I am excited about the newsletter, though. That was pretty promising in terms of when we'll be getting new updates and stuff. Probably sooner than we think. If they're hoping to have all the, you know, editing stuff, or at least half of it done by the next next newsletter, that's probably, you know, 3 or 4 months from now. That's pretty good. Assuming nothing goes wrong. There's always the possibility of something unexpected coming up in game development. Or it's like, I thought we did this right. No, we did not. Honestly, any big project has the specter of, oh no, unexpected problems looming over it. Yeah. It's so fun. I wish I'd had time to do something from the newsletter, but again, that's when Friend was visiting, so I'm like, okay, I'll just have to appreciate this and come back to it later. Yeah, I'm guessing next one probably like around August or something. The sprites were so cute. I love the little sprites of Papyrus and Flowey interacting, and I loved all the hedge battle between Asgore and Undyne. Yeah, I'm hoping we'll see chapter 3 and 4 by the end of the year. It sounded like they were farther along than people kind of suspect, I think. Like, again, if everything goes smoothly, there's a chance that things can go wrong, in which case, that's going to be pushed back. Can't depend on that. But, assuming everything goes smoothly, it sounds like we could get stuff by the end of the year. Which would be very nice. With goodness knows, it's been like 3 years now almost since, or it will be 3 years since chapter 3. Oof. Or chapter 2, sorry. I can count. Yeah. It's a tough situation to be in, because, like, I imagine, like, a game, this long, it's already, like, say, 9 hours long just from the first 2 chapters, and we have 5 more left to go. Like, that is going to take a while to do, and there's advantages and disadvantages to releasing it episodically. I'm sure he's got something big planned for the 10th anniversary for Undertale. I don't know what that might be, but I imagine it's big. We already had that concert in the 5th anniversary, so who knows what they would do for the 10th. And heck, technically this year is the 5th anniversary for Eldritchrune. That's insane. I can't believe it's been 5 years. Oh my goodness. But, again, that's what fan content's for, is just filling in gaps while you wait for canon content. But yeah, there's advantages to doing it episodically, mainly in that, when you do things episodically, you give people breathing time in between things, and they can, speculate and imagine stuff. Yeah, that would be very cool. No way, 5 years already. Yeah, around Halloween, that'd be pretty cool. So gotta take off some work time to do that. The advantage of doing it episodically is that, again, you have time to breathe in between stuff. You can speculate about stuff and talk about it and imagine what will happen next. And a lot of opportunity for fan content and hype build up, all that kind of stuff. And you get the experience of following along with something that releases regularly. But the downside is that you can get a little bit of fandom brain rot and kind of lose track of what's going on in canon, sort of thing. Like, apparently what happened with Digital Circus. People are like, what? Jax is an asshole. Why is he an asshole? It's like, he was an asshole in chapter 1, or in episode 1. He hasn't changed. He's just always been an asshole, and you got kind of sidelined by fandom interpretations. Yeah, I don't think there's any interest, worry about interest waning. But yeah, I actually replayed chapters 1 and 2 with my friend while I was visiting. So I'm like, I gotta share this again. Let's play chapters 1 and 2. And it was good to get the refresher from canon. Although, man, I got even more convinced of my night predictions watching it again. And I was like, oh, wait, I realized there's an emphasis on this here. Interesting. So, I am more set in my night predictions after doing a little replay of Chapter 2. Some stuff is still very much up in the air. Yeah, that is my thoughts. A little different from how Jaru describes it, but I do think it's Garrison. Yeah, that's kind of true of just, doing stuff in general. Is like the fans have probably thought about it a lot more than you have. Not because you don't care, but just because as a creator, like, you're not thinking about it the same way that a fan is thinking about it. You have a broader range of things to consider, whereas a fan can have this time to really hone in on this weird little detail. Whereas you're making hundreds and hundreds of little details, it's easy to lose track of a few of them. Doesn't make you a bad writer, just makes you normal. And we definitely know Toby's not a bad writer. So, but the brain rot kind of thing can get you if you overanalyze a little bit too much and be like, okay, remember to step back, think about the characters, think about the themes, think about the tone overall. Those like don't miss the forest for the trees, basically. And also sometimes crazy fan theories are just like, wouldn't this be crazy and fun if, sort of thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I've kind of thought about doing a little color comic about Garrison Knight, the same way I did like the ones with Chris and the deal with the double one, but I'm not sure if I want to jump into that or not. That's be way even more speculative than I think those other ones were. Because we have so very little info. It is little bits. But that's to be expected, because it's only Chapter 2. And we'll get more little bits. But yeah, also when I was replaying Chapter 2, and you stop by the library, and one of the books on the second floor was like talking about souls, and the book is like about Souls Volume 1, and I'm like, oh no, this is going to continue. We're going to get more information about this as soon as the bird guy stops blocking the books. But I feel like the Volume 1 thing is easily missed. So there is more information about Souls that we cannot assume is the same as Undertale and has not been covered yet, is my thoughts on that. I feel like there's going to be some major reveal in one of those books where it's like, wait, holy crap, that's how this works in this game? And you completely thought it was something else. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is fun to imaginate all kinds of crazy things happening for crazy reasons. I just hope that the, people having crazy conspiracy theory fun stuff doesn't hamper your enjoyment of the canon when it inevitably is going to end up being different, because then that removes the fun of it, and you kind of convince yourself, oh no, this writing isn't good after all because it's not how I imagined it, and that's not how things go. I speak from experience. I'm trying to be. I definitely do like the speculative and theorizing and imaginative aspect of it, but I'm trying to temper my expectations properly and not get too caught up in, again, that fandom brain rot where you think, no, the character couldn't possibly act this way. Like, again, people were really upset about some people were really upset about the newest girl thing, where like, oh, Susie wouldn't act that way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She has. she was a bully. She was mean. She was scary. Hello, thank you for coming. Or being like, why did Noelle, not intervene with Chris being attacked? I'm like, because she was scared. We've well established that stuff scares her. And she has trouble standing up for herself, including her friends. Like, this is not new, shocking news. Yeah. Chapter 2, I think, was definitely sillier in many ways. I think a lot of that silliness comes from Queen. Queen is just an extremely silly villain. Like, when I was replaying with my friend, we got to the Birdley statue scene and just cracked up. It was that was just extremely funny. Well, honestly, I get the feeling that let me get this. I get the feeling that Chapter 3 is going to be very silly, too. I think people have this idea in their heads that, oh, it's going to be all this serious stuff going on. Oh, Chris made a fountain. Oh, what does this mean? Oh, like, I'm sorry. I think that, I think this is still going to be kind of silly. Toby has pretty much said as such. He's like, oh, Chapter 3 is a little weird, a little odd one out. Like, we're just trying random stuff here. So I get the feeling Chapter 3 is also going to have a good degree of silly, probably more than people expect. Yeah, we'll probably get more serious in later chapters as stuff happens. But I don't think we're at the point yet where it's like, and then this is where the story really gets serious. Like, there'll be serious moments, obviously. There was in Chapter 2 as well. There were plenty of those. But I think it's going to be very silly. Yeah, it's obviously serious when you go the weird route. But I'm going to leave that to the professionals myself. Who knows if we'll even have a weird route in Chapter 3 or not. It might be a Noelle exclusive thing. I don't know. Or it might not be a Noelle exclusive thing. It's anyone's guess. Thank you. I definitely spent a long time on it. This was a long scenery thing. Let's see if I can't. Yeah, I can go a little down a little further. Yeah, weird route is its own thing, but in terms of like pacifist and neutral routes. Yeah, for sure. I'm used to doing all this detail again because I worked as a background designer for a while. And, kind of ingrained in me that, oh, you gotta spend time on the background. You gotta make it look nice. Gondolier Swatchlings is very cute. Well, I think that picture shared is not an actual Italian gondolier. That's the ones from Vegas, which, that's usually how things are imagined. Because I've been to Venice, actually. And we've been in the little boats. And they're pretty neat. I would say just Google it, but Google is fast becoming really unreliable, so I would say DuckDuckGo it, I guess. Somebody that's not just feeding you blatant AI slop and misinformation. Yeah, the Venice boats. They were very cool. I went when I was pretty young. I think I was 10 or 11 or so. Or was this later? I don't remember. Maybe it was when I was 13. Yeah, I changed to Firefox 2 for my default. It's just much better. I need still uBlock Origin. They're gonna start demanding it everywhere. But yeah, we went to Venice. It was very cool. I liked Venice a lot. Oh, default search engine. Yeah, with default search engine, I've been trying to use Mojik more if I can. It works pretty well for basic stuff. The problem is that I guess because they haven't put as much input into it, there's some more niche things are harder to find info on. Yeah, I saw this like advertised on a Tumblr post or something like that. So I was using Mojik. I probably would also use DuckDuckGo because I'm guessing that's the second best in terms of, you know, niche information. I think actually Mojik basically says if you don't find any answers, so you can try these other search engines too, like DuckDuckGo and stuff like that. It's just so frustrating. You had a decently good product and had to toss that away and toss customer satisfaction away for a quick buck. Well, in Vegas, it's not so much movie stuff. It's you know, it's just like a costume. They do have gondoliers in real life, and you know, they might have a uniform, but I don't know if it doesn't really look like a theme park uniform, basically. Yeah, you use it in movies because it's like, okay, this is a very obvious shorthand for who is this person? Oh, they're a gondolier. You can tell because of this outfit. Regardless of whether or not they actually wear that outfit, it is easy visual shorthand, basically. And I don't really know how you get around the whole easy visual shorthand thing, because that's very ingrained stuff. I mean, you can use whatever you want. It's your drawing. Well, unless you mean for search engines, again, DuckDuckGo probably. Seems like a good alternative. Art history? Good grief. I don't think I did actually take an art history course. Now that I think about it. That was never a requirement for my major or anything like that, so. No, I don't think I took an art history course. Which is kind of odd. No, it'd probably be useful information to know for me, honestly. I know some vague art history stuff, but you know, probably not as much as, you know, some other people do. Oh, fascinating. That would be an interesting pantheon to add to. I guess the problem is then you have kind of a good understanding of that pantheon, because it's like, well, what if the god you're thinking of already exists and they're just not very popular? That's a whole nother thing. I feel kind of bad that I never really took an art history course. But I always wanted to do it. I'm like, please just let me draw, not just study the draws, even though it is important to study the draws. I've definitely been to plenty of art museums, but that's not necessarily the same as having a class about it. might need to stop soon for my stretch break. I'll do it after this one because this is small ones. Small baby ones. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, again, it's your drawing. You can do what you want. You can do how you want to. Color changing suits. Oof. That was a mechanic to be had. Also, when I did replay chapters 1 and 2, I actually went back and did the secret bosses as well. I got through Jevil on my second try and Spampton on my first try, so that was pretty neat. I was happy about that. Didn't know that that was going to go so shortly. I was like, yay! Maybe I improved a slight bit, especially since I haven't played in a long time. But that stupid teacup I definitely had to do over and over again. That was the weak point where I died so many times. No, Asgore, she can't ignore you. You're right there. There's no more murder teacups, please. But I'm like, yay, I beat the secret bosses. In a relatively short amount of time, all things considered. Yeah, I'm not that skilled, but I'm just happy that I was able to beat him on my first try, having not played in a long time. I do think Spampton is easier than Jevil. Jevil I died once on. But, usually that takes me way more tries. Okay. Time for a stretch break. Oh boy. Undertale Yellow is pretty hard though. Like even in the pacifist route, that's some tough battles. It's definitely designed to be a fan game, not so much a for everybody game. Yeah, I feel like Jevil was harder. I never know what to do with that stupid ring around the spades move. And the carousel, I almost inevitably get hit in that. Whew. Go back and try Jevil. Jevil is definitely hard. Also, good grief, after beating Jevil and going back to King is just like a joke. It's like, okay, this is not hard. Which I guess is good if you're trying to play through it as fast as possible. Not get stuck on a boss. I'm a little worried about chapters 3 and 4 because even though I'm going to tackle them by myself, I've never been very good at figuring out where the secret bosses are. I've always had to have somebody explain them to me. So I'm either going to skip them or have to be very thorough trying to figure out how to do them. I can't figure it out. I'm a dummy. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Invented deity. Oh no, the frogget! No! Oof. To be fair, this was also my first bullet hell. This is kind of like a baby's first bullet hell game. The usual bullet hells like Toho are considerably harder. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. No spoilers. You'll see when it's done. And there's the text for it. I have not heard of that game. That kind of looks like XCOM, and I know that's not what you're talking about, because that's not a bullet hell game. That's not correct. Yeah, we'll see when it finishes. Probably in like a couple weeks. I'm guessing that the thing is, while I'm very close to finishing this part, and might even be able to make some progress on the second part today. No, I still have a ways to go with the part with Papyrus and Asriel. We've got to work on that. Hopefully next week I'll be able to make some more progress with that. That'll be funny. That'll be fun. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy, that would definitely be a visceral. It would be funny in a twisted sense. I've honestly was actually thinking, I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do Mayor Holiday's demise in this sort of situation? Because definitely like at least Noelle's taking her out. I'm just trying to decide how specifically, like the set of circumstances, dialogue surrounding that. Yeah, that was a part in. I haven't kept up with the Jurassic World series at all, because the first Jurassic World, I'm like, okay, this is fine, but it's no Jurassic Park. But like, oh wait, no, Lost World. That's right. I was thinking Jurassic World. I was thinking that that one character who gets like ridiculously tossed around by like 10 dinosaurs. But no, the guy in Lost World who that sucked, because he basically like helped all the heroes. Yeah, and then the two T-Rexes grab him and just pull him apart. like a wishbone indeed. Like, he didn't even do anything wrong and get karmic punishment. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the dinosaurs came back and ate him. First Jurassic Park I used to watch over and over. But yeah, poor guy. But that would be pretty funny. Funny and also terrifying with Susie and Noelle doing that. Just rip. Let her rip. Yeah, I never saw the third one, but I did see the first one many, many times over, and I saw the second one, at least twice or so. I do remember that part. Also, I think there's the part that no, that was in something in the third one I never saw. I just heard about it. The guy at the cell phone that the dinosaur swallowed or something was going off. Back when we were first getting cell phones going. Yeah, I do need to figure out what is actually going to happen with Mayor Holiday, although I imagine it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be nice. Just a matter of, okay, in what way will this not be nice? She could get frozen, she could get shattered, she could get eaten, she could be all of the above. Good grief. It just depends. Get frozed. But I will try and work on that at least a little bit, maybe during my downtime week. Depending on the time I have. The true coldness of her own heart. But can even horror monster ice match the true coldness? Is it worth freezing something that's already frozen? Dun dun. That depends. Okay, I'm gonna do a little something different with this one. Uh-oh. Oh no, exploding T-Rex! Man, way back in the day, I was doing a bunch of like original story ideas, just trying to practice storyboarding and stuff like that, because I didn't have the job storyboarding, but I wanted to do that, so I practiced it a bunch. And I had one random story idea about a homeless bum, and he just finds a dinosaur like in his tent one day. It's like this little T-Rex. It basically acts like a big weird puppy, but it's a T-Rex, and then him trying to figure out why the hell is there a dinosaur here? What am I gonna do with it? Stuff like that. It was pretty cute. At least it was drawn pretty cute. It was not Jurassic Park style dinosaurs. It was, this is a big goofy animal that shouldn't be here kind of dinosaurs. I don't remember what else I was going to do with it besides that, though. It was one of those ideas I just did a bunch of art for and never quite finished up stuff with. As happens sometimes. I haven't watched much Digimon, so don't know. Supposed to be in class? I'm in a box. Like, I tried to watch the first season of Digimon. I watched quite a bit of it, but I never quite got into it. Couldn't tell you why. Maybe I needed to start with a later series. It's a mystery to me. Yeah. Like, Mew Mew 2. This series got a lot darker. Prefer the later ones. That makes sense. Okay. Sometimes it just be like that. I remember liking some of the opening music for it anyway. We had a bunch of anime soundtracks when I was in college for reasons. Listened to that a bunch. I always thought like, oh, this is so cool. And all the anime music. But yeah, most of our anime stuff came from a college friend who just like had every series imaginable. Definitely everything from like for Sailor Moon, because she was big with Sailor Moon. That whole bunch of all of Inuyasha, a lot of Digimon, a lot of very more obscure sci-fi series. Some Clamp in there. Yeah, I love Butterfly. That was such a great song. It's very upbeat, peppy. That was one of the ones I think we had on the soundtrack, and I would listen to that one. So I'm like, oh, this song rocks. No, sorry, it's way preferable to which is catchy, but Butterfly is better. It just is. Okay, do a little bit of a effect here. They really started hiding all these stuff behind trees, and it's very annoying. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where did that happen? Oh, screen. That's why it looks weird. Sometime I want to watch the, what was it, Ghost Stories or Ghost Detectives or whatever dub, where they're just like, we have no clue what they're saying, so we're just gonna make up whatever we want. And it was really weird and funny. Probably inappropriate at times too. Ghost Stories, yeah. Like, definitely not appropriate humor, but it was also very funny. Love you too. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Crunch. I don't know, probably like a jelly donut kind of thing. We can't explain what an onigiri is, so, you know. Donuts? Sure, that's something Americans like. They like donuts. I mean, the jelly-filled donut, exactly. Also, I can see Mayor Holiday trying to... still trying to argue with the giant frost beastie that, no, I did the right thing. I did. It's like, honey, person, you're gonna get wasted in just a sec. Please don't argue with the giant beastie who is going to kill you. Yeah, I think they're like, oh, kids won't have the attention span for that. If there's anything I've learned working in animation is that executives have a very, very low opinion of children. Don't think they can do anything. Like, well, they can convince their parents to buy toys, and that's good enough for us. No, like, that's not a donut? Exactly, doesn't matter. Easier to just lie to you and then explain a new concept. There's gotta be some, like, really innocuous, actually not that scary reason why they did that kind of translation for that. But again, in my experience, a lot of people who work in children's, or not, who not work in children's entertainment, a lot of executives that include it in children's entertainment don't have very good opinions of children. aren't really super interested in kids' development or anything like that. Maybe that was once different before deregulation of television. They think kids are dumb, and they think that teaching kids anything is going to make parents mad. is what it boils down to. So it's like, yeah, some kids actually are dumb. But we also can't teach them anything because they think parents are going to be mad about their kids being taught a thing. We don't want to take that risk. Yep, pretty much. Purpose is to make money, keep parent complaints away, because that means time and less money. Just working on the show right now, like there's actually quite a bit of restriction about, you know, what we can and can't show in terms of what people can do, and it's I don't know, some of the decisions are baffling. I'm really not sure who made these decisions and why they decided that that was necessary. Because, like, sometimes, like, okay, we can't show this hand motion because, you know, this might be offensive in other countries. Same reason you don't make any signs in English anymore, because it's much easier to just not change the assets and keep them the same than to have to rewrite all the signage in different languages. But some of the things, I'm like, this isn't even an offensive gesture. Why can we not use this? It's very odd. I don't know what the psychology is behind it. Oh, yeah, that's not surprising, but also, yeah, I don't think I ever had Lunchables. I had actual lunch. The thing was like, I actually watched Strange World. Nothing was wrong with it. It was just it was mediocre. It was, you know, it was just fine. It just wasn't really stand out. It was kind of predictable, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess I need to rewatch that. I did watch that once, but I don't remember exactly how that interaction went with Bellows and the Collector. It's been a little while since I saw that episode of Owl House. Ending was good, but I would need to do a little rewatch of that. Oh no. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I can't even tell you, like, anything that movie specifically did wrong. I'm just like, okay, what was wrong with it? Well, you know, that was okay, I guess. That was okay, I guess. Just nothing really cohesed together, I guess. I'm not even sure what element specifically was missing that didn't cohese together. I never clicked with any of the characters. Strange World, yeah, it's on Disney Plus now, I think. I don't even know if they released it. Maybe they did release it in theaters. The thing is, Disney barely advertised it at all. That's probably why you haven't heard of it. They barely advertised it. And I think part of that because there was backlash because one of the main characters is gay. Like, they very explicitly be like, oh, this character is interested in a guy and is nervous to talk to him, and the other characters are, you know, talk about this a little bit and, you know, encourage, oh, you should, you know, talk to that guy you like, kind of stuff. Like, it's not really any way to edit that out easily. So they're like, oh, it's ruined because there's a gay character. I'm like, no, that's not why it's bad. It's bad because it's just kind of boring. I did see Amadeus. That was an interesting movie. Pretty interesting. I saw it a long time ago. I think I also saw The Ghost in the Shell a long time ago. I don't think I've seen The Terminal. Yeah, exactly. Like there was these complaints like, oh, there's gay characters, that's why it's bad. And it's like, no, that's not why it's bad. Especially like Lightyear, where it's two characters that appear for, you know, one moment and kiss and oh no, into the world. But that's not why it was bad. Also, Lightyear especially feels kind of like unnecessary. I'm not sure why that's gonna happen. There are other places where movies are free. Amadeus is a good movie, though. Need a bit of resources on that. Yeah, we already did Buzz Lightyear Star Command. But then again, that's also like much more proper sci-fi sort of thing of like, not proper sci-fi, but like, you know, kid-friendly sci-fi of, you know, here's the space ranger and he lives with aliens and they save the galaxy, as opposed to what sounds like a much more serious story about like, it sounds kind of like the game Returnal or whatever. What it sounded like being caught up in your own past sort of thing. I don't know. I never actually saw Lightyear. No, I can believe Mozart had an annoying laugh. He was like ridiculously young too, wasn't he? Like 17 or something. 17-year-olds are annoying. No offense to 17-year-olds. You're supposed to be annoying. That's the time to be annoying. As we're not doing so hot. Yeah, and I never saw Lightyear. I haven't seen Elemental yet either. I missed that one. Oh, dang. I'm not mad, Mom. I'm just disappointed. Disappointed you can't handle sub-zero temperatures better. Oh, Encanto was good. I liked Encanto. Yeah, I feel like it would have been a series. What's annoying me is that apparently, like, you know, they want to add Encanto to Disney World. And they're like, we're going to put Encanto in Animal Kingdom. And it's like, but why? The animals in Encanto are a very small part of the movie. If you're going to do something with Encanto, put it in the World Pavilion and make it about Colombia. Because the movie is very much about, like, hey, this is a family and a community in Colombia. This is what it's like when they're in Colombia. Here's all their Colombian foods and traditions as they're dealing with this family stuff. It's like, obvious slam dunk for World Showcase at Epcot. What do you mean put it in Animal Kingdom? Makes no sense. That's just what I heard, though. Maybe they won't bother with it, but, weird. Oh, what? The plot just started. I do like how all the Disney movies nowadays are, like, secretly about family trauma. Can you, or generational trauma, can you tell millennials are making these? Because we are. I still haven't watched Soul yet. I was really kind of scared to, because I feel like that was going to emotionally compromise me way more than I was ready to handle. We'll see how Inside Out 2 goes, I guess. Hopeful is good, but again, I feel like that this is the movie that was just gonna absolutely wreck me. In terms of, like, at least from what I heard about it, I'm like, oh no, this is gonna hit me in the feels in a way that's really, really gonna hit me hard. And I don't know if I can deal with that, so I kind of avoided it. Splinter Cell. I don't even know about that. I don't think that is anime I ever saw. Good grief, what was the last Pixar movie I saw? I really liked Turning Red. I thought that was a great movie. I kind of wished Pixar would do more movies like that. Very, very grounded in that Canadian thing. I really appreciated all the female characters. Felt like a real middle school girl friend group. I was like, oh yeah, they're not mean and catty to each other. This is how a group of girlfriends actually acted when you were in middle school and you had your crazy interests over boys and random other stuff. So I really enjoyed that movie. Oh, that's too bad. To me, it felt like a very natural. It was one of the more natural, like again, that's another generational trauma movie, but it felt way more natural and not quite as harsh as some of them, I guess. And also, again, this felt very real to life in my experience of what a group of good friends in middle school, if you were a bunch of girls, act and sound like, and how they, talk to each other and stuff like that. I feel like with a lot of adults, especially, grown men adults, and how they perceive girls acting in middle school is very different from the truth. And that was, I felt like, a more accurate teen girl experience. Yeah, it's a little bit harder if you're an aro ace and not really, into boy crazy stuff. But just the friend dynamic is what spoke out to me. Because I think a lot of times there's this urge to, make teenage girls mean girls, really bitchy and catty with each other. When that's not really how things go a lot of the time. Especially for niche interests with those girls. Yeah, we'll see how it holds up. Now that they've introduced a bunch of new emotions. Well, of course, weren't some of them supposed to be in one and they decided to drop them out? I feel like at least anxiety was supposed to be a emotion from one and they kind of dropped it. Unfortunately, I can't access the Disney Plus I have anymore. Apparently my brother had to change the password or something, so I need to call and be like, what was your password for Disney Plus? I can't get in anymore. I can't watch anything. I don't want to pay for it. Sorry, Disney. I'm already paying for several things. Don't need to keep adding on. Yeah, I've heard that X-Men 97 is really good, though. That looks pretty solid. And I just appreciate that it even kind of has that 90s aesthetic look to it. Just the animation models look very 90s. Good morning. Thank you for coming to the stream. We are working away on this scene with Asgore and Mayor Holiday. You know what I want a revival for that probably nobody has thought about in forever? Johnny Quest. I watched the 90s one. I was obsessed with that when that was going on in the 90s. And I wouldn't mind that getting a new generation update. I can't really watch the 60s one because that's a little bit too 60s. I'm like, oof, the racism's oof. But they, at least with the first few producers they had, they fixed that. So I'm like, you can do some fun stuff with this. Well, they didn't totally fix it, but it was better. Oh, that's silly. It's X-Men. Of course it's quote-unquote woke. It's literally about the oppression of, a group of people who are minorities. That's how X-Men works. Thanks for stopping by, especially if you have a busy day. I am doing okay. Working hard or working away. This is going to be another busy work week as I try and get through the rest of my roughs. I've got like 5 more sequences to do. I'm like, okay, that means like a sequence a day. Here I go. That's so silly. I should see Parasite sometime. I haven't seen it. I'm not very up to date on a lot of movies. It looked interesting. I need to track down where all these movies are. The hard part is, like, it's so hard to find stuff nowadays because it's all scattered across like 10 different streaming services. Well, it's not even a topic of prejudice. It's a topic of, like, class stuff. Because it's about, you know, a poor family and a rich family and then, you know, taking advantage of each other. At least that's my knowledge of it. And also, you know, main characters are Korean, so there's that too. Class stuff is really not the same thing as prejudice. It's really not. That is a whole different dynamic. Oh, X-Men. Yeah. X-Men is prejudice stuff. That is very blatantly what that's supposed to be. And it has been that way since, you know, the 60s. Yeah, that's extremely silly. Like, come on, dude. Rage Against the Machine has made it no secret what they're about the entire time. You just weren't paying attention. Or deliberately weren't paying attention. The machine was my parents the whole time. Society's a platypus. My parents are a platypus. The government's a platypus. Platypus is a metaphor for anything that's holding you down. No, I have a real platypus. It's controlling me. I have not seen nearly enough Phineas and Ferb either. Parasites when you have 2 websites. Oh, you mean modern internet now? A whole 2 websites. Remember when we used to have more of those? I know. Never enough time to watch them all. And then even when I do have time, I'm like, well, I don't want to invest emotionally in a new thing. I'll just watch this old thing that I've watched like 20 times already. Good use of my time. Huzzah. Oh yeah, that was one of those Marvel movies. I'm sorry, I'm really not up to date with whatever Marvel's doing. Not up to date. Over Phineas and Ferb. Hello, thank you for coming. Exactly, it's like, new thing, oh no. I'm afraid. I don't have the brains for it. I probably inherited this from my parents. When they work, they listen to stuff too, but they listen to like the same movie on repeat. Like 50 times. That was how I grew up. It wasn't just me who was playing the Lion King every day 6 times. Wait, what was a Half-Bred Chaos reference? If I did, it wasn't on purpose. Actually, I guess I should follow Half-Bred Chaos. I haven't kept up with what they've posted recently. Uh-oh. Shadow's the one a little nuts there. Must be rough having to be pissed off all the time. At least the streaming games for me on Fridays, things helps me like, okay, I'm gonna play a new game today and share it with people. Of course, part of that makes it hard. Like, there's some games I don't think I would be very good at streaming, like Hades, for example. Like, I wanted to share, bleh. It'd be fun to stream Hades, and on the other hand, like, I'm not super good at it. But I don't know if it'd be very entertaining to watch me, like, fail a bunch. Even if failing a bunch at Hades is fun. Or Hades 2, whenever it's out of early access. I have been liking In Stars in Time a lot. I'm curious to see how it's going to end up. I keep trying to guess, and I don't know how accurate my guesses are. Like, what will happen next? Like, you have this feeling like, oh no, this is going to end badly, but I don't know how. Ah! And I'm curious about, like, this world build, and I like the characters for it a lot. It's a very good game. No, I'm sorry, Asgore is dealing with stuff right now. Oh shit, I just realized I need to take my break. It's been a little too long. I've been drawing and talking. I forgot about my break. I better take it. Yeah. But yeah, Asgore is dealing with Mayor Holiday. He's not having the best of times. I'm taking my break. Wait, break isn't car break. Stretch break. Oh no, nobody wants to hug Asgore. Who will he give his giant bear hugs to? Aside from Rudy, I guess. That's the worst thing. I have big arms and no one wants a hug from me. That's torture. This Toriel's probably not hugging him much either. Even though they're still married. In this universe. And give them to Chris. Wait. No, that's hard to do at the moment. For a number of reasons. But gosh, if only you hadn't sacrificed the person you can give hugs to. Then you wouldn't have this no hugs problem. Among the many other problems you have. Gotta think about these things before you engage in human sacrifice. I definitely do need to work on that section a bit. Nice to sacrifice him. I'm doing the break right now. I am stretching and stretching. I'm doing it. Okay, and I'll be right back for one more stretch. And also orange juice. It's orange juice time. Alright, now I return. I return with orange juice. Nom. And yeah, part of that is a sunk cost thing. Oh, the full version. And after you sacrifice all those kids, it's like, well, you gonna stop sacrificing kids? What would that mean for the ones you already sacrificed? It'd be even worse. Now, of course, she's really not feeling good about it. What's one more dead child? It's Undertale. We gotta have all them dead kids. No, wait a minute. It's not Undertale. It's Eldritchrune. Oh, no. We gotta have all them weird teens. With guilt issues. And 99% of cult members stop before they win big. No. Oh. Oh no. Go to the actual trailer. Sounds like you're just feeding orphans to demons. No, we're not. This is very important. This definitely will eventually lead to something good. It has to. No one gets him. Because video games don't exist. In this universe. We don't even have electricity. So we said electronic game, we're like, what the heck does electronic mean? You never know until it's too late. Give me the desired result. Exactly. The guy mining meme. Keep throwing your dead children at the wall and eventually you'll find the diamonds. I'll end up a gas-powered game console. Hang in there, baby. Demon princes are coming. And again. Onward, we're on page 4. I don't even know if they have... What if they don't have a headquarters? Where are they going to put the hang in there kitten poster? Yeah. I think they'd have to be oil powered. I don't think they'd say... What would they have for gas? It would have to be oil powered because I guess like most of the stuff is like either ground oil or like whale oil or something. Whatever you're using to power your light stuff. Put it on the altar. Most awkward sacrifice ever. Corporate speak. It's like, no, please kill me now. Saying, hang in there. Oh, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you boosting my morale in this situation. Well, they had, like, gas-powered lamps before they had cars, didn't they? I think. Powers up technology, even guns. Steam engines predated combustion ones. That makes sense. I mean, the cute thing being said, an eldritch-looking creature being a doofus. What's your favorite? I like the eldritch creature being a doofus. Myself. I think that's fun. I mean, they're both very fun. But I like that one, obviously. Gas-powered game console. How are you displaying your game console without a television? Well, I guess yeah, I don't know. How do you have a, hunting like cosmic whales? Space whales? In your little space whaling ship? Both is good. Space whaling. Until they outlawed space whaling. Space whales. Now I'm howling at the moon. Surprised more people don't make memes out of that verse. Eldritch Glide. The problem is, would Glide be an Eldritch creature or would Glide be a human? Because Glide's not a darker, Glide's a monster. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Like, usually if I've had an Undertale character, they've been a human. Not an Eldritch Beast. Yeah, sure, they would feed on Space Krill, obviously. Oh, Glide is annoying, though. Pay attention to me! I'm Glide! Pay attention to me! Why did you pay attention to me? I only show up if you've been walking around in circles for like 3 minutes straight. Pay attention to me, though. Birdley doesn't even really know what he's talking about sometimes. He's very confident in what he says, but he doesn't even necessarily know if he knows what he's saying. Maybe it's from the future, maybe it's from an alternate universe, maybe it's just nonsense, but he's very confident about it. That's what's important. Can't let anybody know. Anybody think he's not smart. He's the smartest of the smarts. Being thought of as not smart or worth anybody's time is just not doable. Wait, and here, are they anti-theistic? Sprouting memes because of it. Villain. Queen is canonically his girl dad. No, I think the thing is, Caddy just doesn't care. Like, canonically, Noelle is the smartest in the class. Okay. Because Birdley would always, at least canonically, Birdley would always rely on Noelle to, help him with his schoolwork because she was the smart one. Everyone up at the Super Mario Celeste night back wall jump, skip, dash. Everyone, what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Oh, among the Eldritch Beasts? Probably still Noelle. I mean, Caddy does have a lot of arcane knowledge. It depends on what you define as being smart. Yes, I'm sorry about the semi-decapitation. I actually, for this comic, I did what I usually don't do, and put the text boxes down first. His face is hidden under the text boxes. I'm like, well, your face is hidden under the text boxes, so I ain't gonna draw him. Goodbye. Arcane is a good show. Oh man, that cliffhanger ending. That was painful. Yeah, I guess Caddy does know the most spells. Jockington knows the most sports. Or wants to know the most sports. Unfortunately for humanity, learning more spells means getting chomped on. And yeah, I haven't played any of the Souls games, so can't comment on those. Or the Soulsborne, I guess, is the full genre. Oh, I still like the idea of folks who can bend reality. Thoughts on Chapter 3? Well, I was just talking about this earlier a little bit in the chat, but I think that Chapter 3 is actually going to be a little bit sillier than people expect. I think, because like Chapter 2 was sillier than Chapter 1, and I think Chapter 3 is also going to be kind of silly. Or at least sillier than people are expecting. I think people are expecting like, oh, now we're going to get serious stuff and Curses of the Night and blah blah. But I'm expecting a bit more weirdness, a bit more silliness. A bit more stuff that's kind of like, huh? How'd that happen? Yeah, it's not going to be lore focused. Which is honestly one of the reasons why I don't think Chris is the Knight, because I'm like, okay, the one, like, you know, Dark World we see them make is not very lore focused. Okay, then I don't think that's going to be about the Knight then. It's going to be about what Chris wants to do. Yeah, it's more for a fun thing. It's gonna be sillier. Like, I think we will get more serious in later chapters, but I don't think that's gonna be the case in Chapter 3. I think, like, I'm sure there'll be, like, you know, some serious moments, like with Chapter 2. But I suspect Chapter 3 is going to be much more a silly billy than people expect it to be. But for sure we will get some tidbits. But then it sounds like we'll get more back to the usual plot and lore stuff in Chapter 4, which will also be fun. I do think Chapter 4 we're going to Asgore's Flower King shop for the Dark World. Some people think the church. I think it's going to be the Flower King shop. The church is definitely a possibility in the future as well. But yeah, I expect some silliness. I expect some weirdness. Chapter 4 is chapter lore. Exactly. I think that Chris Knight is gonna get disproven pretty quickly, because I think that, like, people are going to be able to tell right away that Chris made the fountain, or somebody's gonna point it out fairly soon, whether it's Ralsei or another Darkner. Someone's gonna be like, "Hey, Chris, you made the fountain," and they'll be like, "What?" And, you know, deal with that and then go on with their adventure. It certainly can go either way. That is very true. Maybe they will not do that. Maybe they will do something else. But I can, at least in my imagination, I am very easily, I can much more easily imagining, can't talk properly. I can much more easily imagine basically that reveal coming quickly, and then we'll get some other kind of reveal that's going to be like, or some other question that's like, wait, what's going on here, sort of thing. Like, knowing that Chris made the fountain is going to raise some other questions about some other things that are not related to Chris making the fountain, if that makes sense. I don't think Ralsei is going to be happy about it. I think Ralsei is going to act like nothing is wrong. He's like, okay, it's fine, Chris. Whatever you want to do. I support you. But it's clear that he's not that happy about it. Start building some tension between the two. Like, got to start testing that with Ralsei a bit. Yeah, that I don't know. That's a good question. I guess the people that have played Snowgrave we'll need to report back if there's any major changes in how things go. Yeah, that was a big difference. I think honestly the biggest thing about that was how much of a surprise it was. It was not advertised at all. It feels and felt at the time like a creepypasta. Like, oh, if you do this with the character, then you'll be able to kill Birdley. Oh, like, that sounds like playground rumors. It's fascinating how well they were able to hide that. Yeah, there's a number of reasons that Chris could open the fountain. I think both in weird route and normal route that don't involve being the knight. Especially since they just learned how to do it. Because Queen just told them. Yeah, I think people might be kind of disappointed if nothing else happened with Snowgrave afterwards. It's like, just this chapter, nothing else. But, I think it will affect future chapters. It may or may not chapter 3, though. I am. This is on my big, long Undertale playlist. And, Amy Waters does really good music. Yeah. The thing that keeps bothering me is, like, I really don't know if the police are gonna show up or not. Because they didn't. Like, Toriel called them. And then she's like, oh, good, you're going to be here right away. And then it's night, and nobody has shown up, and she falls asleep. Like, were she just still waiting for the police to come? And she was also like, oh, I'm so glad I finally got through to you, sort of thing. So, I'm like, okay, why haven't the police shown up? Why did it get far enough that Toriel just decided to fall asleep waiting for them? Let them ghost the phone. Oh, that sounds like a real problem. Okay, we'll check it out. Bye. Good night. Sorry. I don't think they necessarily shut up off camera. Not feeling up to it right now. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Alright, I gotta go back and do that. We'll go back and do that one later. I'm like forgetting what I did here. I'll do the grayscale ones later. Ah, Twitch ads. We'll drop by later when we're free. As Alfie said, the cops in this town are just kind of eye candy. That's not the right phrase. Undyne is enthusiastic, but don't know if he knows how to handle stuff. And again, like, oh, Dark World, that's a problem for the school board. People can fall inside? Not my problem. Undyne. I gotta juggle all these cars in the street. The dog was doing donuts. I love Alfie's too. She's so silly. Such a silly Billy. Yeah, somehow slams the desk laughing so hard. And then all of the wet-nosed bandits run out. Undyne, no. Yeah, she's really good at catching things. I don't know about her investigative skills. Maybe that's why she wasn't, like, investigating. She's like, I gotta go catch the wet-nosed bandits now if we let them all out. And Absolute will handle this, and Absolute's like, oh, sorry, I'm not feeling up to it. I did see a theory that Asgore actually might show up because he has an old police scanner, and he's like, oh no, my family's in trouble, and if I can help out, maybe Toriel will like me again. And then they both assume it's a dream, and then if we go to a Dark World and Asgore's, you know, spot, and it's like, oh, huh, maybe I should take this seriously. This is not actually a dream. Yeah, Asgore is often a punching bag character. Poor guy. Poor guy. So divorced all the time. We'll see if they get back together in this universe or not. Maybe because it's kind of implied that in the Undertale one they stay apart, but maybe in this one they can be fixed. I don't know. Maybe it's impossible. That would be a plot twist. Asgore doesn't stay divorced. Plot twist. It was nice at least that we got some sprites of him in the newsletter, because very often he just gets he's not in the merchandise very often. Not always in lineups very often, and he is often, because he's a sweet guy, but he's often a punching bag. Poor Asgore. Asgore somehow remains most divorced man despite being remarried. How did he do it? Sometimes relationships just don't work out, even when you're both big goat monsters. At least he has his gardening. Although if we do, you know, chapter 4 is any future chapter in Asgore's shop, I wonder what we'll be able to take from the shop for our recruits. Well, that's definitely Asgore and Toriel. They are not together forever. Let Asgore date Rudy. Mayor Holiday, Schmayor Holiday. Oh, now we're getting into that dumb YouTube bait video. And then she's homophobic because Asgore and Rudy probably dated. Yeah, that's how that works. Extremely silly. Extreme silliness. This is the most serious. Asgore's Rudy's hall pass. No. Oh. Yeah, that's the thing, is the dog bandits are like, oh, we got scared so bad we ran to him. I'm like, so the mayor is scary apparently, and so much. Then again, as also Alfie said, he's like, I don't know if the mayor even needs the police. She's scary enough on her own. Well, I know we'll have some flower stuff going on with Asgore. It'd be interesting if there was also oh, thank you. I have to somehow communicate he got big nose, because he's a big guy. What was I gonna say? If Asgore's flower shop or Flower King spot has like a superhero theme also going on, because he's got superhero comics, and he like lent superhero comics to Alfie's apparently. She's like, he's like a superhero. He's huge and could kick my ass. Which, very funny. Good dialogue writing is hard. That's something I worry about all the time. I'm like, is this good dialogue? Does it make sense? Is it in character? Is it clever? Is it moving the story along? All these things you have to think about. They don't seem to have a fire department. No, they do have a hospital at least. Good thing for that. No bank though. Hey kid, build a bank. He's in a lot of trouble reading comics. I hope he at least knows who superheroes are in this universe, even if he does not understand the anime. Yeah. Can't be all dialogue all the time either. It's tough. Making art is hard. Oh, you don't have to be good at writing. You can just write what you like and have fun. Especially for fanfic. Although I do understand the pressure to be like, no, I have to make it good though. I want to be skilled at this thing. Oh my goodness, yeah. So much writing has to happen. And for all these different variations of what might happen. And it all has to make, relative sense for the characters depending on what happens. Even though a large part of what shapes a personality is what happens. So, trying to imagine, like, okay, this is what might happen if they're subjected to this situation versus this situation. Like, it's really hard to work that out. And then not people have like, this is so out of character. It's like, but the circumstances of this have changed quite a bit. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to drop it. I know I definitely sometimes am like, I have to keep making contents. Otherwise people will forget I exist. I can't have that. Ah! Ew, that's cool. Asgore scene. I hope it goes well. I will admit, I think Asgore is kind of hard to write. Like, on the one hand, he's simple, on the other hand, it's like, this is a lot of nuance and stuff going on here. Oh. Thank you, but it's hard to make those feelings go away sometimes. His pronouns were when were. His pronouns are don't know. Don't care. Okay, we're gonna go back and fill in the eyes later. Oh no, I was getting told down by the mayor. Also, I might need to stop soon for another break. Breaks, they come so fast. Oh yes, that is one of my pronouns, Shadow the Hedgehog. And Knuckles. Yeah, this is Asgore being like, I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is the right thing to do. The whole, what if we are wrong? The one question you can't ask. And very much too little too late. Oh, in here? In Eldritchrune? Because they've mostly been doing that with children and teens, because that's what they believed was necessary sacrifice. Was young people. That's why they haven't done it with Azrael, because he's too old now. Extra tender for the demons. Demons love children for breakfast. Asgore like, maybe this is fucked up. Like, I feel bad all the time and my wife is even worse. Starting to doubt the goodness of what we're doing. I'm starting to have second thoughts. And of course, Mayor Harlow's like, nope, don't go thinking that. Incorrect. I'm the mayor, so I know. Yeah, definitely Toriel is going through really, really bad times. She done screwed up and she knows it. I've been, in my head trying to write out, okay, how will the scene go when, Chris gets back and faces their family. Yeah, this is pretty different from what she does in canon, for sure. Because in canon, she's like, screw you, I'm gonna go. I hate you all. You all suck. She is having a bad time. Well, that's in the next one. Oh, she's not getting judged. She's mostly doing jokes. Yeah, that too. Chris left with, I know you screwed up and I don't want to talk to you anymore. So that's just like the final burn. Okay, I gotta stop real quick for a break. And then we will return to this page. Yeah, that was the gut punch part. And Toriel reacted like an actual gut punch. She got barbecued. She got flambéed. She got crispy fried. Yeah. Sorry about some of the splash damage. That is more accurate. That is in fact traumatic. Mostly on Chris's end. Sauteed, flambéed, and unfollowed. Oh dear, I'm curious what other versions have annoyed worse, because I figured that this version of Toriel, again, this is a pretty off the beaten path. One of her defining character traits, obviously, at least in Undertale, and most certainly in Eldritchrune 2, is do not touch it as a child. So this is a big break from that. It's definitely made her very challenging to write. In the sense of like, okay, she's not a monster here, she's a human, she has a lot less agency in her decisions even than in Eldritchrune. And got persuaded into things by somebody that she very much trusts over a slow process rather than like an Undertale, where Asgore's like, I'm mad this happened and I'm gonna attack humanity, and Toriel's like, no you aren't, shut up. Yeah, definitely. I don't think Undertale tutorial would. Alright, be right back for one more stretch. And such. Oh no, I'm trying to bring out. Okay, I'm returned. Asriel gets sacrificed when Toro finds out he kissed a girl. Sacrificed to many days of church. Yeah, Toro has a lot less control over circumstances here. And even in Undertale, when she was the queen, she's like, I can't fight everybody, so I'm just gonna head over to the ruins and try to make sure that, you know, kids just never get out there and see the other monsters. And unfortunately, that did not work. You have to go, but they don't have confession. That's the deal. Asriel, where did you hear about confession if, like, your religion doesn't have it? He kept trying to confess his sins, even though we don't have those. And then he tried to confess your sins. I guess the internet, too. You bottle everything right here, and one day you die. He just felt that bad about dropping the lizard into the pit. And then Chris dropped the lizard into the pit on purpose. I neglected to mention this was in a video's game. Asriel, I remember your lizards dropped into the pit. Don't drop Susie into the pit, even though she looks like a Yoshi. Don't do it. Don't do it on purpose, Chris. Yeah, that meme has probably got some staying power. I'm not even sure where it originated from. Nintendo's game. Alright, have fun with lunch. I will keep on going for a little bit yet. Maybe we'll be able to finish the shading today. That'd be nice. But yeah, as we're starting to feel bad about all this, well, I already was feeling bad about it, but at least trying to bring it up to Mayor Holiday, which is a step up. Ooh, painted shading. I am trying to do more traditional art stuff. I got a little taste of it again when my friend was visiting. I'm like, wait a minute, I like doing this. I can't just do digital all the time. So I'm only doing a tiny bit a day, but I'm squeezing in a bit of like dream journal stuff with colored pencils, and I'll probably try some markers and crayons, maybe ink washes, who knows. Let's get a little sketchbook for them. Well, if I try stuff with washes, that might make the paper crinkle. Is it darker enough? Do not contact the Imperial authorities because they will get punished for that. That's why they gotta keep the cult a secret. Heck, even like Alphys and Sans and Papyrus don't know. I don't think Burger Pants knows either, or Pizza Pants in this world. Actually, he's not any of those pants, so they don't have burgers or pizza. We won't say what pants he has, because they're not good pants. Sweet roll pants. No, the thing is that I have him as, he mucks out stables. He works as, like, you know, doing horse stuff. He mucks out stables. So he's usually up to his ankles in horse crap. So I'm like, oh no, he would just be shit pants. Like, No matter what universe he's in, he can't escape the shitty jobs. Literally. Oh, this kind of benevolent, caring empire. So benevolent and caring. Always good for people. Everybody loves a benevolent, caring empire. Waist pants. There we go. That's a little less bad. Horse pants. I can't tell if that's better or worse. Sounds like he's either wearing pants made from a horse or like pants made for a horse. In which case you just come back to the, if you were going to put pants on a horse or a centaur, would they wear pants like this or like this? Pants made by and for horses. By horses, for horses, of horses. Yeah, Burger Pants is very funny. He is very much a loser. Unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna survive this either. I think he's one of the people that dies. Honestly, he might get the Jurassic World treatment of getting unnecessarily tossed around. And it's like, is this necessary? Must we do this to the poor horse pants? Yes, there is. You just took it out. I love that. Even Susie wouldn't eat that. No, I think Birdley does. And then immediately he's like, oh no, that tasted like shit. Caddy's like, ha ha. After speed reading, you know how soul molds will work. That's a lot of reading. Tastes like depression. Ugh, what does that taste like? Like, oh, my teeth are disintegrating. Haha, that's bad, actually. Yep. He'll be safe because he smells inevitable. Or will he? Again, Birdley probably would not be smart enough to stop and think about that and then regret it. Caddy and Susie make fun of him for it. Smells inevitable is a very different phrase from smells inedible. That's true. Mostly I just had a funny scene in mind where, like, you know, Asriel's there and trying to hide from all this chaos going on. And, Pizza Pants spots him. He's like, oh, thank God, finally! Somebody competent! I'm saved! And is, like, running towards Asriel, and then Birdley just scoops him up. He's like, ah! Being carried off, and Asriel's like, oh, God. What's going on? Uh-oh. Oh no, that's kind of sad. I don't know if I can appreciate Darwin Awards anymore. I was like, ugh. Chris is grinding levels. Don't know if levels are a thing here anyway. Don't eat or drink in the lab. Yeah, that seems like that'd be an obvious one. Chris is like, I never liked that guy. That guy always was weird and smelled bad around me. Please bathe more often. And again, it's like medieval times. I guess they didn't bathe that often. Well, actually, didn't they bathe more than people think they did? This is mostly an issue of, like, if you have enough soap or not? I don't know how it worked. Probably need to research it more. How often do they take baths? Well, it's probably still more often than Chris got a bath, unfortunately. Eek. Blech. Blech. No, well, the Vikings bathed a lot, but what about other cultures? Ew. Blech. That still sounds really bad, especially sulfuric acid. Blech. No, and he has a real dying from ambiguous medieval people disease. Piles of Asriel's plague dust. No. No, don't spill acid on yourself. Don't be like Clover. Don't drink the acid. It'll be fine. Just why? I don't know that I've ever spilled an acid on myself that I can recall. I really enjoyed it. I really liked that Undertale Yellow. It was very fun to play. Obviously, I've done some fan art for it. Music was great. Excellent, excellent, excellent fan game. And I'm excited. I think it got into the next speedrun tournament. So that'd be really cool to see them play through it before the speedruns. And I liked the characters. I liked the little NPCs. They all felt very Undertale-ish. Neutral Flowey fight was very scary and neat. The one thing actually that bothers me is people trying to insist that it's canon to Undertale or should be canon. I'm like, guys, it's a fan game. It's a great fan game. It's a fun fan game. But it's a fan game. It should not be canon. Stop trying to make it canon. It doesn't really work lore-wise, and it doesn't need to work lore-wise because it's a fan game and it's fun for what it is. But trying to make it work because of the lore-wise stuff is like it's I don't know. I think it does it a disservice. Please just let it be a cool fan game. It does not need the validation of canon to be a great game. Yeah, the timeline does not fit with it. And again, doesn't need to. Because this is just for fun, and it's a fun interpretation of stuff. I mean, heck, here's a little Undertale Yellow reference we're getting in this part of the comic. Just a little small one there. Yeah, Starlow fight was really great. Yeah, I think that might be an inevitable thing. Just a little Undertale Yellow mention. Because they're fun to do. Just a small one. I don't know if Clover will show up again, aside from that little mention. That was not Martlet. That was QC. And we have seen it before a little bit. I have not drawn any of the other. QC is in the cult, yes. I have not drawn any of the other Undertale Yellow characters in this universe yet, and if they were, they would probably be humans. Because they're monsters. QC is the, you might get doomed by the narrative again. QC is the bunny, diner owner. The purple one. Gives Chris the hot chocolate. And then in Undertale, she's just running the Snowden shop. Yeah, Clover often gets doomed by the narrative. Poor Clover. Actually, I don't think Clover dies here. So they escape that. I mean, unless they're in hometown at the time and things go horribly awry, I don't think they're gonna die. Well, basically, the cult doesn't assume that because they're like, well, this didn't work. We're going to have to try this again. And that's kind of what they're talking about. But, we have not yet gotten to the point where they are going to try again. They're just talking about trying again. Not to spoil the comic, but that is what they're discussing. And so obviously we have to try again. Stop doing the child murder. Mayor Holiday's like, wrong. Incorrect. And of course, like, but consider, please, maybe? Okay. Ah, what are you doing? But she is very intimidating. December was the one that got sacrificed. Far Cry 3, yep. Yeah, December is the one that got sacrificed. And she was the first one. And then there were 5 others, and then Chris was the 7th, because magical number 7. We don't know who the other 5 were. At least right now. Man, I still hope sometime soon we can see what Mayor Holiday actually looks like in canon. This is all just guesswork right now. We just assume that she's, you know, probably a reindeer, probably blonde, because Noelle is. Probably scary, icy cold. So what does she look like? I don't know. This is a fun remix too. Once again, lost track of when I'm supposed to take a break. Ugh. But I think I can finish at least this part of the shading today, which would be cool. Well, there's definitely something going on with Noelle in terms of what she may or may not know. All Chris knows right now is that, oh, she really, really wants to find Mayor Holiday. And has to go to the light world for that. That is a theory some people have put forth. I haven't been able to do much with it, though. But I have seen that theory floating around. Which probably explains why people keep wanting to see Eldritch Chris as well. I'm like, no, the fun part is that they are the weird little human and they command all the monsters. Eldritch Corruption Gang, rise up. Scary things may yet happen with them. Spooky things. She's deceased. No, it's because she's December. Yeah, having that ability is pretty scary to everybody else, for sure. It definitely is going to make Chris appear very scary to, like, regular townsfolk, like, you know, Toriel and Asgore and Asriel. It's like, holy crap, they can just talk to the giant monsters and tell them whatever to do, whatever. Sleep, then be free of the EP. Heck, as far as stuff goes, most of even the cold is not really knowing or caring about something like Eldritch Beast. They're, you know, after a demon to help them. So if they, you know, well, by the way, you've unleashed a hell dimension and it's full of giant monsters that want to get you and eat you. It's like, well, I wasn't expecting that. Chris comes back with an Eldritch accent. Like, we can't quite understand what you're saying. While you were grieving my death, I studied the horrors. Exactly. I befriended the horrors. Nobody expects the Eldritch Hell Beast that eat you. I never thought that the Eldritch Hell Beast would eat me, says woman who voted for the Eldritch Hell Beast eating people party. Classic Hell Beast. Wait, why Romanian? Where'd that one come from? Bring out the comfy chair. You know, I've never actually seen that skit. How weird is that? I saw plenty of Monty Python and the Holy Grail growing up, because that one was one that my parents really liked, thought it was funny. But I never saw the Spanish Inquisition one or Life of Brian. I think I only saw that like once. Mostly we just saw the Holy Grail one. Lithuanianism. Yeah, I don't know what kind of accent Chris would come back with. Nobody else would probably know either. Just be like, you sound kind of weird and ancient in a way we can't quite place. Oof, sorry about your Wi-Fi. Thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. I know I gotta stop eventually soon and get myself lunch as well, but I can keep going for a little longer. There's not really much of a sun in the dark world. That's why it's dark. So Chris is probably paler too than they were previously. You look even creepier. Used to be you were just the creepy kid next door. Now you're the even creepier kid with a giant hell beast. How does that work? How can you speak something without proper vocabulary? Like, even African American vernacular English has, you know, grammar and vocabulary. From Transylvania. It did the Monster Mash. It caught on a flash. Whatever happened to the Transylvania twist? It's a graveyard smash, exactly. I don't remember most of the lyrics for it, but, you know. That part at least is catchy. At least a little bit. Nervous as Gorgon. Asgore, why can't you stand up to your very demanding and terrifying community leaders who are also your friends? Huh. Odd. Interesting. Language is strange. I mean, that is one way to pacify their enemies. Your enemies will, in fact, be pacified if they, you know, get eaten by human-eating monsters. They will be your enemies no more, because they will not exist. It's like, well, if you didn't want your town destroyed by Hellbeast, then you should have been more specific about what you wanted. That's a big mix of languages there. Goodness gracious. It's like, if you wanted your enemies dealt with peacefully, you probably should have mentioned that in your demon requests, the sacrifice. Might need to stop for one more break soon. I think it's about break time. I'm going to finish off the rest of these. We're getting close. I'm not sure. In Eldritchrune, who would I punch? I mean, probably Mayor Holiday. She's the one that set up the whole child sacrifice thing. But I don't think I'll need to do it. I think Noelle will be doing the punching, and by punching I mean horrible death, which I guess could include punching with hooves. Okay. Stretch break time. Yeah, I think Noelle will have that covered. Okay. Stretchy. Yeah, no kidding. Again, I've been thinking like, oh, good grief, how am I going to write this out? This is probably going to require content warnings aplenty. All around. Lance, you're still with him. He's still just a little guy. Yeah, I get to exercise the old angst drawing muscle. It's kind of nice. It's nice to be able to do stuff that's, you know, scarier or darker or horror-ish sometimes, especially since, again, most of my job is drawing very, very, very kid-friendly stuff. Which isn't to say, like, no, I never want to draw kid-friendly stuff again. But it's nice to vary things up a bit with this little creepy little AU. Oh yay, I'm glad that you can zone out. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to stop soonish, about like half an hour more I can go. With the Queen's fight, just nowhere for him to, I didn't have any place for him to be in that point. He's there for morale, but sometimes he usually ends up hiding during big boss battles. Lancer didn't meet Girl Dad. I know, I'm sorry. Also, I'm sorry that your days have been a rough void. I hope that they get better soon. Alright, be right back for one more stretch. And I return. Emotions are hard. That is true. Emotions are tough, tough things. Well, I hope the emotions get easier to deal with. Emotions are tough to deal with, tough to draw, tough to write, and yet we still deal with them all the time. We are forever champs for having to deal with emotions. Because they're hard. It's also hard to, yeah, I don't like that. Hard to shade around those dumb flowers too. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's really hard. I'm sorry. Grieving is like a whole nother realm of emotions, honestly. That is a long process, so I hope it goes okay for you, and I'm very sorry for your loss. I know I definitely think about that a bunch with my own family. Worry about that sometimes. Although, I only have one grandparent living at this point. Which is impressive in of itself because I'm quite old. So the fact that I still have a grandparent is nice. They're pretty much a great grandparent at this point for most of my cousins who have kids. But still my grandparent. So I'm thankful for the time we have. You gotta be thankful. Actually, I should call soon. Good reminder. Can't forget to call. These flowers are all droopy now. They're like, oh no. We sense the child murdering happening in this town, and we frown upon it. You do not have our approval, Asgore. Oh, that's pretty neat. What kind of farm was it? Was it like a general farm? Did you farm did you farm for certain things? Ugh. Need more water. Blah, blah, blah. It's a general farm. Well, can't go wrong with corn, that's true. Corn always felt kind of spooky to farm for me. Maybe because I watched the X-Files movie when I was a young kid, and it's like, oh, the scared cornfield. And then the bees will get you. Right when you're about to kiss, the bees will get you. Okay. I did like that part in the movie, though. Scream to a cornfield, there's plenty of ears listening. Oh, I guess that's true. I did like that aspect of the movie where after Scully gets stung by the evil bee, that's actually like secret government alien bee or whatever, and she's like, you know, going into shock or whatever. She's pretty much like describing her symptoms as she's going down. It's like, no, I need this sort of thing, and this is what's happening, and blah blah blah, and also I'm gonna pass out. It's just this very Scully thing to do. Nope. I'm going unconscious. Better diagnose the problem on the way down. That was my first real internet fandom. Well, grieving may or may not need therapy. It depends. Grieving is complicated. It's a complicated, long process. Sometimes you need therapy for it, sometimes you don't. Just basically use whatever resources you need. Because those are what those resources are there. They're to help you. Unlike poor Asgore here, who is very limited in terms of resources. And that's why he's sad. Well, that's good. I'm glad you have those. I'm glad you have those options for you. Oh no. Typo power. That's why I don't trust that AI stuff. It's like, oh, we'll correct this for you. We know exactly what you meant to say. Says something totally different. It's like, no, you didn't. You were totally wrong. You were wrong every time. But yeah, I'm glad you have those resources, Void. We are almost done with the shading for this part, which is yay. But it still feels like there's so much left to go. I'm not sure how long it will take me to finish these parts, but I'm hoping... Okay, they'll definitely be done within the next 3 weeks, I'd say, but maybe sooner. I don't know if I'm lucky. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's even be different between dogs and people, yeah. Uh-oh. My thing. Come on. Please work. Ah. Why do you keep stopping here? Maybe I should switch to the next one. See if that goes a little better. Fine. YouTube has been kind of weird lately sometimes. Okay. Well, one more page. Poor Asgore. Can never catch a break. Votes on punching Mayor Holiday. Noel does. Oh, pixel art. That sounds like a fun class. That sounds pretty neat. I never would have had a chance to take that in school. That sounds fun. What program are you using? I usually use A-Sprite when I'm doing pixel art. Found that works pretty well. Wasn't too expensive. Pretty robust tool. I liked it. But I imagine if you're into a lot of spriting that there's even more tools out there you can use. Oh, neat. Neato. Man, I really do wonder how they did all the pixel art before, like, you know, there were a lot of available tools for it. Yeah, pixel art is no joke. It's hard. I enjoy doing it when I can, but I don't think I'm very good at it. Especially the animation aspect. Like, that's such a precise way of making that stuff work well. I'm glad you've been having fun with it. If you're having fun with it, you're probably going to learn it even better. Okay. Last one. I think I might kind of cheat and do most of this in shaded. It's that overly shaded, sad feel to it. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. Gaster hidden face on the veggies. I don't know if there's space for it. I guess at some point I'm gonna have to make a Gaster reference, especially regarding some things. But I'll have to figure out how to incorporate that. But I'm sticking with he never actually gets shown in the story thing. I don't want to show like an actual visual of him. Heck, I wonder if we're ever gonna actually meet Gaster in Eldritchrune itself, or if it will stick with the vague little things we've been getting in the Twitter stuff and the survey program. Game over screen. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that on the flower, unfortunately. Egg guy is a piece of him. I'm still not even certain if the Gaster in Eldritchrune is the same one as Undertale. If they are one and the same, or if they are two different Gasters. Egg. But him being split into multiple aspects, like kind of a more curious and weird entity, and then also like a more serious and threatening entity, and then also a more like cold and scientific entity, would make sense for all the various ways that we have seen him. I do still think that the Valentine's thing was from Gaster. It just makes the most sense to be from Gaster. It's an Occam's razor kind of thing. Even if the oh, sorry about the ad. Even if the blah, can't talk. Even if the Valentine was a little bit kind of on the lighthearted side, a little bit little scatterbrained, I guess would be the word for it. Ads be gone. Especially since all that stuff. Oh, sure. Feel free to show me what you made. That would be cool. That would be neat. I do gotta mess with ads and figure out how I want to set those up more with the streams. Yeah. Welcome back from your lunch break. We'll probably do about 15 more minutes or so, and then I gotta do a lunch break myself. Because I got stuff to do in the day. But at least we got through pretty much all of the character shading. I might go back and do like the eyes, I guess, because the eyes are going to be white and black to make them stand out. Of course, there's also the couple other panels that are black and white. Well, this is technically black and white too, but it's got a color tint to it. So the pure black and white to show their flashbacks. Whew. I'm gonna wait for the ads to finish for talking about Gaster again. Gaster, the friendly ghost. Friendliest ghost that ever was. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking the thing of being shattered across time and space as something that literally happened, then maybe what we're not seeing is not a whole person, but aspects of him, versions of him, takes on him, variations of him that we have not seen yet. So again, we might have versions of him that are more serious, more cold, more curious, more goofy, depending on how those interactions are happening. But again, he can't be the sort of the same problem that I was talking about earlier about, you know, kind of a fandom poison. Like, he can't be the one who wrote the Valentine's thing. That's too goofy for him. And I'm like, well, do we know that for sure? Egg guy might be him. Eggs might be him. The eggs do keep multiplying weirdly when we bring them into the light world. Although Timmy is keeping track of our eggs for us, for reasons. Gaster is Royal Scientist Egg Guy. Hasmore's pretty heartbroken. He's like, well, my marriage is really not doing well. My child got sacrificed. My other child left because they were upset. And now I have to sacrifice more children, and actually this kind of sucks. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Timmy is the knight you least expect. Nobody expects the Timmy. Which is true, I would not suspect the Timmy. It was me, Chris. It was me all along. That's why I counted your eggs. To cause the roaring. Guess what, Timmy? This egg will hatch. It will hatch into destruction. Yeah, face shadow. That's how you know there's depression. That's the power of lighting, baby. Yep. She's like, oh, if you could understand it. But she knows to mostly be silly. Okay, we're gonna do eyes, I think. We'll do the eyes real quick. We'll do some eyes. As if you could even imagine. Yeah, the funny thing about prophecies is they can be interpreted all sorts of different ways. Can't blame a bark for trying. Indeed. Alright, we'll go back to the start here. Eyes on a separate layer. Elsa's like, prophecy means things will be fine. I don't think they are. I do not think that is the case. 'Cause yeah, then I would not expect them to come true. Lantern's a good song too. Interesting. Fascinating. I do find it interesting how people have taken, like, oh, the prophecy that, Ralsei says in the thing is what's going to happen. We know this is exactly what's going to happen because Ralsei said that's exactly what's going to happen. When the whole thing with prophecies as a narrative device is that they usually can be subverted or broken. Especially if you're talking like a biblical style prophecy. Those very famously can get changed. So, let's not assume that this means everything's set in stone. Yeah. Stop messing with those herbs. Well, no, he probably still has at least some of those. For reasons. They probably have other reasons besides, poisoning and paralyzing people. Things often have multiple uses. This is probably just a small section of his garden, not like most of his garden. Well, again, they're talking about it, about doing another prophecy, or not prophecy, but sacrifice. But then again, they probably still won't need them. Especially since this is a not Asgore's kid. Hello, hello, welcome back. We'll be on just for a few more minutes. It's enough to get a little bit further with things. It's adding in the eyes because that's simple to do. This basic white so that they stand out. Very, very basic. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Asgore just felt even worse having those in his garden afterwards, and like, I'm not going to grow these anymore. It's entirely possible. He's definitely not selling them. Nope, no spoilers. It'll be released eventually. I'm kind of debating if I want to, what I usually do with these multi-parters is release them all pretty quickly in succession, one after another, or if I should draw these ones out a little more and post them as I finish them, kind of thing. I don't know. What do you think I should do? The strongest character made by Nintendo? I don't know if I know Nintendo's canon very well. Oh, that's the wrong one anyway. Yeah, rename that. If I rename... Should be able to rename these. Probably have to actually click on it. There we go. If we go by Smash Ultimate, then Kirby. I can believe that. Kirby. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to be stopping real soon because I got to get some lunch for myself. I've been going for a little while. But thank you for coming by anyway. So we are finishing up some shading stuff on this first comic with Asgore and Mayor Holiday. Yeah, I gotta get lunch. Very sad Asgore, he's not having a good day. Alright, that's what I figured. It's almost lunchtime. It is for me. On the West Coast. Probably not in all time zones. Yeah, no, I believe that about Kirby. He's killed some gods, hasn't he? Sounds like Kirby. He's Kirby. He can do that. So if you told me Kirby was the strongest Nintendo character, I'd be like, sure, sounds right. I don't know enough about Kirby to dispute that. No, just the one in Star Allies. Okay, still sounds like something he could do. I've never played a Kirby game. The most I've ever handled Kirby was in Smash Brothers, and I was only okay with him. Usually Yoshi is my main. I still need to get Ultimate. I haven't played Ultimate. I'm just listening to the soundtrack for work, because it's good work music, but I need to actually play it. Oh, yeah, you should probably get lunch at not 9, almost 10. Probably a bit. Okay, well, I can't look until I finish drawing. Lunch times. I first started playing Smash when it was just the first Smash Brothers. The very first one, on the Nintendo 64, and it was very polygonal. Almost 10 p.m. time for breakfast. Some people probably work that way. Couldn't be me. One time I had a night job, that was very hard. I did not like that schedule. Not super fond of it. Oh, the battery, no! Alright, well, I will be stopping soon anyway. At least probably once I finish the eyes. Because we're about that time anyway. I'll have to do the other background, or the flashback scenes with, like, Clover in them later. Ended up having a night job. I had a job, where basically this was for a reality show that I don't think, very hard to chill, wait. This is for a reality show that I don't think ever actually made it to air. I don't think it quite got off the ground. But basically, for this reality show, you know, they shoot a crap ton of footage for it. And then you gotta start peeling through all the footage to build your story out of. And so I basically spent the nights trawling through, like, hours and hours of footage for this reality show about shrimp fishing. And trying to basically mark down stuff where I'm like, okay, I think this is story relevant, or this is useful B-roll, or this has, you know, this dialogue in it, or this character in it. So I had that for a night job, because there were other shows going for this thing all the time. So that was the time they squeezed us in, was from like 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. But I don't think I ever made it to 6 a.m. I was like, okay, I've worked enough 10-hour shifts. I'm gonna head out. But the best part was the drive home, because I was driving along PCH, which was always, you know, during the sunrise. So that was really beautiful. But then I would just go home and sleep. Yeah, it was exhausting. It wasn't necessarily super hard, but it was just very tiring, and I did not like those hours. I'm not a night person. Real shrimp rise of the Gulf Coast. Yep, there are contrasts there. Yeah, I don't know if it was trying to compete with another shrimping show or not, but never quite got to air, I think. I think there's another shrimping show that maybe beat them to the punch or something. They're like, well, we can't have 2 shrimping shows. Also, no matter how you try and sell it, fishing in general is not a very exciting activity. I think the most exciting they could make it was deep sea catch, where the whole excitement is you might die because the sea is really rough here and terrible. But shrimping you're doing in the Gulf, it's weather is usually not a big concern. Oh, I don't know if it's more fitting time zone, because we went into the studio to do it. This was before, you know, remote work kind of stuff. So, it was just, I think, making as much use of the space as they could. I definitely wasn't the only one doing it. We had, like, a whole shift of people that were just, you know, hanging around and crawling through footage. I didn't really see or talk to them that much, though. Yep, I'm going soon. I just wanted to finish off the eyes, which I did. Okay, cool. Look at that dang background. But first, the National Spamton. I like how the National Spamton was just happy birthday. Thank you. Backgrounds take forever. That's definitely going to be the longest part of this one. But yeah, good progress. This part's probably almost done. I got like a couple more things to do for it. Some effects maybe. And I'll do the flashback scenes in a grayscale. Some stuff with the text. But then, next time, hopefully, we can see a little bit on the third part with Azrael and Papyrus, because that's also fun. I just gotta finish doing the roughs for it. Yeah, well, I need to rewatch the Spam to Network thing again. That was just so funny. So weird, so creepy, so funny. But yeah, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream, you guys. I super appreciate you being here. And it's very fun to talk to you all about various things while I'm drawing. It just makes the time fly by, and I get so much done. And I love that. Next stream, I'll definitely be doing more in Stars in Time on Friday. Probably another art stream next weekend as well. I don't think I have any other plans except for doing more of that. So yeah, there'll be more of this in the future. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for coming. And I hope the rest of your day is really great, or very relaxing, or whatever you need it to be for yourself. And yeah, I will see you all next time.
Alrighty. See you later.